So happy birthday, SNL, turning 50th anniversary this year. And there's an article about this over at Time Magazine. Welcome back to the channel, Culture Confederacy here. It's Sunday night, so happy Sunday, everybody. And if you're new to the channel, we don't use any fancy graphics here. There's no epic soundtracks or pretty boy camera angles. We talk about the news of the day, tinge of politics, preserve great art, music, history, culture. So we do it bare bones. What you see is what you get. And thank you again for watching, subscribing, being a part of this thing called the Culture Confederacy. As you know, I'm not trying to sell you something here. I just love doing this channel. I have a lot of fun doing the channel. So let's get to this. Now, we're not going to go through all 22 moments they list here over at Time Magazine. I'll just read you a few of them, some of the most notable ones. So we start out with Season 1, 1975. Now, I was born in 77. But this is a skit with Chevy Chase and Richard Pryor. And this is where Chevy Chase uses the N-word. Skit known as Word Association may be the most controversial sketch in the show's history. It's also considered by many to be one of the show's best. The first season sketch begins with a seemingly mild-mannered manager, played by Chevy Chase, conducting a job interview with a new applicant, the night's host, Richard Pryor. The final step of the process involves a game of word association in which Chase starts by saying the word dog, to which Pryor responds with tree, and they go on from there, until Chase says the N-word. So the sketch gets more racist as it goes. Now, comedian Paul Mooney, who was hired to work on Pryor's episode at the host's insistence, said the sketch was inspired by his own experience being interviewed by NBC executives. So it was back in 75. Elvis Costello bucks the system, 1977. So Elvis Costello was scheduled to perform a certain song on SNL at the request of not only Lorne Michaels, but his record label. But at the last minute, just as he's starting the bars of this song, Less Than Zero, he switches to Radio. So Lorne Michaels was not happy. Gave him 2 middle fingers off stage. Ouch! That's when you know your song sucks. So moving right along here, going down the list, Andy Kaufman gets voted off SNL. Probably one of the most beloved characters in SNL history, Andy Kaufman, 1982. So it says here that he had appeared as an SNL staple live from New York 10 times between 1977 and 1979 to lip sync along to the Mighty Mouse theme song or to perform his controversial intergender wrestling bit. Remember that? But it says here, on this date, Kaufman helped pull a prank that would end up backfiring on him. So during this prank, you had the episode being hosted by then 7-year-old Drew Barrymore. And cast members came out to share the call-in numbers to keep or dump Kaufman. So they're thinking about keeping him, or it was executive producer Dick Ebersol was reportedly fed up with Kaufman's antics. So he's thinking about having people call in and vote Kaufman off the show. So when all was said and done, at the end of the episode, and you also had Mary Gross, it says here, read the dump Andy number comically fast in hopes the audience wouldn't be able to catch it. But at the end, you had 195,544 people who had called in to vote Kaufman off the show, while 169,186 people voted to keep him on. And then he returned in January of 83. And unfortunately, he died a year later, I think in 84 or close to 84. Matthew Broderick visits a nude beach, 1988. Matthew Broderick's hosting debut included a boundary-pushing sketch written by Robert Smigel and Conan O'Brien, in which he plays a guy hanging out at a nude beach for the first time. During the sketch, they mention the word penis 40 times. There's a big controversy over it. It's a 4-minute sketch. And the word penis barely got past his censors, as they mention here. Saying, well, there's no way you can do this. You can't say that on air. Then they were arguing, well, this is a clinical term. Yes, we can. And there was blowback, including from Reverend Donald Wildman, the founder of the American Family Association, who urged his followers to write to NBC with their complaints. The network received 46,000 angry letters and lost advertisers, including companies like Toyota. Andrew Dice Clay causes a boycott, 1990. So Andrew Dice Clay was scheduled to appear. And this ruffled the feathers of Sinead O'Connor, who, as you know, would later have her own controversy. We'll get to that in a moment on SNL. She said, "I don't want to be part of providing an arena for him to make himself legitimate because I don't think he is." Sinead O'Connor protested by choosing not to appear. And so Lorne Michaels had to publicly defend his decision to have Clay host the show, telling the Los Angeles Times, quote, "We're not asking O'Connor to endorse Andrew Dice Clay. We're just merely asking her to sing 2 songs. And Nora Dunn was protesting this as well. Remember this one? Nirvana's censored makeout session, 1992. Nirvana's SNL debut featured performances of Nevermind track, Smells Like Teen Spirit, and Territorial Pissings, which ended with them breaking all their instruments on stage. But that's not the real controversy. The real controversy happened at the end of the show during the ending credits, when drummer Chris Novoselic shared a passionate kiss with his bandmates Kurt Cobain and Dave Grohl during the curtain call. And they said this was meant to piss off the rednecks and homophobes. NBC edited the kisses out of all later broadcasts, replacing the night's final goodbye with an alternative kiss-free closing. And when with this one, Sinead O'Connor rips a photo of the Pope in 1992. In the final moments of her second performance, an a cappella cover of Bob Marley's War, the outspoken Irish singer ripped up a picture of then Pope John Paul II and declared, "Fight the real enemy." The backlash against her was incredibly swift. In her 2021 Rememberings, O'Connor explained that the moment she finished the song was met with an eerie silence, thanks in no small part to the show's director, Davey Wilson, who insisted that the applause sign not be lit. Well, maybe I'll throw in one more here. They have one about Wayne's World mocking Chelsea Clinton. Oh, here you go. Alec Baldwin upsets the Boy Scouts of America, 1994. In the sketch Canteen Boy and the Scoutmaster, Adam Sandler's recurring character, a naive aging Boy Scout, is propositioned by his Scoutmaster, Mr. Armstrong, played by that week's host, Alec Baldwin. The sketch angered viewers, including the Boy Scouts of America, who felt it made light of pedophilia. Baldwin later claimed that NBC received over 300,000 angry phone calls that night alone and lost 7 affiliates. A disclaimer was soon added to the top of the sketch, which clarified that Canteen Boy was not a child, but in fact a naive 27-year-old male. And they mentioned other people like Martin Lawrence, Rage Against the Machine. So I thought I'd share this with you. This one, I have to share this one. Just one more here. This is probably one of the most controversial moments in NSL history, in SNL history. I'm thinking of the NFL. What would that mean? NSL. Not Saturday Night Live, not live at all. Not Sorry We're Live. 1998. Norm Macdonald gets fired. A lot to say tonight. As the show's Weekend Update anchor from 1994 to 1997, Norm Macdonald made light work of the biggest news stories of the day, as Weekend Update always does. And this included O.J. Simpson, who he continued to make jokes about even after he was acquitted of the murders of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman in 1995. Remember this line? This is what he said. "Well, it's finally official. On Weekend Update, SNL, murder is legal in the state of California." This upset producer Don Ohlmeyer, the then president of NBC's West Coast division and a close friend to the former football star. So when Macdonald was let go mid-season in January 1998, just before the first show of the new year, many believed it was because of those jokes. But McDonald later told The Late Show with David Letterman that in a call with Oldmeyer, that the reason he was being let go from the position was because he just wasn't funny. I don't know about that. I think it's probably a combination of the two. So I thought I'd share this with you. Some of the most controversial moments of SNL's history as they celebrate 50 years. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for letting me stumble my way through this. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Follow me at Instagram, hashtag Jason Composes, because I write music in my spare time. You can go to X, Culture Confederacy, at Culture Confed 1 on X. Now you can find me at Substack. This is the Culture Confederacy saying peace out. Stay safe, everybody. God bless this thing called the United States. I'll catch you next time, and y'all have a great Sunday night. Take care.